Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to our channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to feature an inflorescence or flower bloom of the Sansevieria Lady Gaga, and that is a hybrid. The parentage is eilensis crossed with the hallii species or the pink bat cultivar of the hallii species. The breeder is Ediyanta Sebayang, and he's the one who also bred the well-known hybrid, which is the Cleopatra. So what I'm showing you right now is the early stages of the flower spike of the inflorescence, and I started to take pictures of it last February 17th, 2024, and these are the early stages of the budding phase, and the type of inflorescence is raceme or spike, and I will show it to you later on. When I first spotted the flower spike, it looked like, to describe it, a crab's pincers. So as the days goes by, it will grow in height, and one by one, the leaves of that crab-like spike would be left out on the flower stalk, and on the topmost portion, what would grow there would be the very short flower tubes that later on will grow longer themselves. So right now, what the inflorescence or flower stalk is doing is it keeps on growing in length, and as it grows in length, the flower clusters or flower tube clusters would grow apart from each other, as what I am presenting to you right now. This is how the specimen looks like. Later on, I'll show a video of how exactly the form of my specimen of Sansevieria Lady Gaga. Right now, I'm showing you full picture. On the back of it, it's also a Lady Gaga that has bloomed first. But what I am focusing is the one in front, which has the complete documentation of the transformation of the inflorescence. And right now, the flower stalk height has significantly grown in height. Later on, we will measure the inflorescence or flower stalk height of the Sansevieria Lady Gaga. Right now, we are still in the budding stages, wherein the flower stalk is still growing in length. So, in a couple more days, the flower tubes are starting to grow in length as well. I think the flower stalk already stopped growing in height, but the flower tubes are the ones that are growing in length right now. So in my experience, it has always been like that. The peduncle or the flower stalk would grow in a specific height, then after it has reached its maximum height, it will start growing the flower tubes after which. So the flower tubes will keep on growing in length as well, and after it reached or some of the flower tubes lengths would reach the maximum height, they will start to open up. So I will show you later on how it looks like when it blooms, and we will take measurement of how long the flower tubes are, describe how the flowers would look like, and as well as we will describe how the form of Sansevieria Lady Gaga will be, as well as the patterns on the leaves on it. So I think we're nearing the final stages of the budding phase, and later on I will show you a clip, or the second part wherein we will take a video while we are taking measurements, so you would see that I'm taking or telling you or stating the facts as I take measurements in an actual basis. So I'll be back in a bit and we'll start taking measurements for the inflorescence of this Sansevieria hybrid, which is Lady Gaga. Alright folks, so we're back and this is the second part of the video or the content wherein we will take measurements of the Sansevieria inflorescence or flower bloom of the Sansevieria hybrid known as Lady Gaga. And I'll be backing up a bit so you can see the whole plant. The table's size would be 24 inch by 24 inch or 2 feet by 2 feet. So to say that the Lady Gaga specimen on the front of you would be, if the leaves were straight, they would be more than 2 feet from tip to tip. If you straighten up the leaf of Lady Gaga, so that's how Lady Gaga looks like. They are sort of disticus in form, fan shape, but the leaves are curving downwards. So if you are going to make it straight, that would make it more than the table that you see here. So that would be more than 2 feet. But right now, the measure of the plant from tip to tip is almost about just 2 feet. So that is the measure of the whole plant from tip to tip. So if I'm going to measure using the trusty ruler that I have, which is a 24-inch ruler, I would end up having one leaf from one leaf would measure the length of 12 inches, but that's using a straight ruler. I don't have a measuring tape here, but I would say that since it's curved, if you straighten it up, it would be around 14 to 15 inches. Same with the other part, and that's the topmost leaf. So on the bottom part or the lower leaves, they would be decreasing in order. So the topmost portions would be the longest ones, and from the first leaves on the base part of the plant, which are very short, or just very short, because compared to the other Sansevierias, Lady Gaga is quite long if you measure it from tip to tip. So going back though, we will first discuss the inflorescence before we go back and describe the characteristics of Sansevieria Lady Gaga, which is a hybrid, of course, of eilensis crossed with the hallii species of Sansevieria. And the hallii, it's one of the hallii's cultivar, which is a pink bat. So it's the species eilensis and crossed with the cultivar pink bat of the hallii species. That would be the best way to describe it, or say or distinguish or describe the parentage of this particular Sansevieria hybrid that we are discussing right now. So first, I think we can easily measure the inflorescence, and I have my 24-inch ruler here and just position it like that. And on the topmost portion, again, the inflorescence is curved as it is. So I would say that it's just a bit over 24 inches or 2 feet. So that's the measure of the flower stock of Sansevieria Lady Gaga. Actually, I have another specimen here. There are two Lady Gagas that have bloomed for me, and like I mentioned, if I straighten out the flower stock, it would be just a little bit more than 24 inch or 2 feet. So I wouldn't straighten up the flower stalk for you because it's quite sensitive right now, and I'll show you some if I can spot. It's the fruits are kind of camouflage, but I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to point it out. That is those are fruits that were formed, and I believe I have crossed this first Lady Gaga with another hybrid, which is a hybrid of Charonsack, which is Ravana. So Ravana crossing it with Lady Gaga, perhaps I'll call it Lady Ravana when I have successfully germinated these fruits that were formed when we were pollinating Lady Gaga with the hybrid Ravana. So that's the first Lady Gaga that bloomed, and not very nice in shape. This one though, I have grown it in the spot we're in. I would usually have a very nice shape of Disticus Sansevierias or fan shape Sansevierias. I usually put them on that location, and they would usually grow in uniform fan shaped appearance. So again, we have already measured the flower stalk, which is just a bit longer than 24-inch, maybe 26-inch, I would say, if you straighten out this flower stalk. And let's start on the topmost portion. As I am showing you, there is about the other one is at the back, but there are three flower tubes attached to the peduncle of the inflorescence or the flower stalk on the topmost portion. So the minimal flowers in the cluster would be three, I would say. And let's focus on some of the cluster. We can focus on this one, which is, from what I'm seeing, there are about 1 2 3 4 5 and okay, all right, so this one is 5, I think. We'll try to check other ones. This one right here, this one is 6, and we'll try to check other ones. This clump over here, I can't really focus it, but I think it has a lot of, let me see if I can move the plant around. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yeah, 7. So the maximum that I count is 7 cluster 7 flower tubes in a cluster, and that's the maximum from what I see. Yeah, I think it's 7. I can't spot anything more than that. 7. So we'll settle with 7. So there are 4 the flowers per cluster of the inflorescence of Lady Gaga. That would be minimum of 3, then maximum of 7 flowers in the cluster. So 3 to 4 flowers per cluster. That's the flower per cluster of Lady Gaga. Now what we'll do is we'll measure the flower tubes, because that's also important. I might create something that is very similar to Lady Gaga, but it would give me a different inflorescence. So that's the importance, to identify it in the future if I have a Lady Gaga or something else, when I have successfully germinated the fruits that were crossed with this particular hybrid. So some clumps, I measured the topmost portion, that would be 10.7 millimeters. I'll just write that down so it would be easier for me to record later on. 10.7, that's the shortest that I can record on the, actually there is very very small here, and that's 4.9. So folks, Lady Gaga, it has flowers per cluster, and in that cluster there are very short flower tubes and there are very long flower tubes. So I'll try to measure the longest flower tubes that I can find here, and that's the bottom part. Bottom part would be 28.1 millimeters. Alright, so folks, we're done with the flower tubes. What I'm doing is I'm measuring the longest flower tubes that I can find, and then the shortest flower tubes that I can find. So we have managed to measure the how tall the flower stalk of Sansevieria Lady Gaga. We have measured the flower tubes, and the color of the flower tubes would be whitish to greenish. That's how I would describe it. The peduncle, the color of the flower stalk, sometimes it's also important because there are peduncle, or this one would be purple in color in some Sansevieria species or hybrids, so it's also important to take note of that. I think aside from that, we're done discussing the inflorescence or flower stalk of Sansevieria Lady Gaga, which is a hybrid. So we have measured the length, and I have stated that it's about 14 inches for one leaf, 12 to 14 inches. Those are the topmost portions of the specimen, and on the lower part it would decrease to being a short leaf around 4 inches on that bottom part. So I'll move back a bit so that you can see how large the plant is and what is the form. So they are fan shaped. At times they will twist. It will twist itself, and you won't be getting a very nice form of Lady Gaga. So as for this specimen, this is the final form, since on the topmost portion there is no longer going to be new leaves that's growing over there. So the moment that you have flower bloom on this part, nothing's gonna grow there. No new leaves. What it will do is it will start growing offset here, or pups on the root system. So nothing grows above. They will grow either from the rhizome or beneath the soil, or sometimes they would grow on the stem part for some Sansevieria species or hybrid. So before we end the content or the episode for this inflorescence, I actually have the one of the parentage here, so you can see that the pattern on the leaf, they are kinda banded. So you have the lighter green and the darker green, and what happened was it made it grow like this one. Darker band, lighter, darker. So that's how it transformed from being the species eilensis crossed with the hallii species of Sansevieria. Hallii, I would say that what it got from it is the leaf canal, such as that one. Since hallii is another species of Sansevieria that has an evident leaf canal, so this is what it took from it. This leaf canal, or you can see it on the first leaf. It's like that, compared to a very cylindrical leaf of the species eilensis. So That's how they have morphed. Uh, Not exactly all the seedlings will look alike, but from what I heard, one of my colleague that was close with Ediyanta Sebayang, when they crossed eilensis, there was just one fruit that was formed, and they have managed to germinate it, and it became this hybrid, which is Sansevieria Lady Gaga. All right, so folks, I think this is it for this content. If you have any questions or suggestions, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you like what I presented to you, please hit the like and subscribe button so that in the future I may be able to acquire new specimens and feature them on the channel. So this is it, folks. Thank you, and you have a great day.